In today's video, I want to share with you guys exactly how I made $10,000 per month for the first time. And this actually works in 2023, and it's going to continue to work into 2024 and the years and years beyond, because there's a step-by-step process that you need to be able to follow. And when you understand this process, it actually makes making $10,000 per month a lot easier than you might think. Now, the first time, like before I ever made even a dollar, like even when I had no money and I hadn't made any money online and I've never made any money working from home, the concept of making money from home, which is, it's kind of like how I did it is kind of like a side hustle, because I had a full-time job when I started doing this. In fact, I tried so many different things that didn't work out. I had all these different ideas. I was going to try selling products on Amazon. I was going to try drop shipping using sites like Shopify. I looked at all sorts of different types of side hustle, different opportunities, like maybe driving for Uber, driving for Lyft, like in between my full-time 9-to-5 job. And in all honesty, I looked at how expensive the cost to running a business or a side hustle, like, driving for Uber or Lyft would be, and how little money I would actually keep, not to mention how much time I'd be wasting in between trips and stuff like that, vehicle maintenance, letting crazy people in your car. I'm like, nah, I wasn't feeling that, right? So I never actually did that one, but I did sell products on Amazon. I did Amazon FBA. I tried a lot of different things, and I realized, and I started a journal. If you guys don't journal, you gotta start doing that, right? I purchased a journal from Amazon, and if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link for you guys in the description down below this video, or maybe in a pinned comment. I spent like $30 on this journal, and I bought this journal back in 2020. I think it was like 2020. No, I think I bought it in like 2019. Anyway, and basically I had written down a monthly goal that I wanted to be able to hit for myself. And the thing is I was already making $10,000 a month, or actually more than that, from my full-time job. So I didn't actually set $10,000 per month as my income goal back in 2019 when I bought that journal. In fact, I actually wrote down a number that I thought was impossible, because as I was actually researching how to make $10,000 a month on YouTube. And one of the things that really resonated with me was this person. She was talking about manifestation. There was actually a number of different people, but this person, she was talking about manifestation, and the way she explained it to me was like, you're supposed to write down what you want, but you're supposed to write it down in a way where you already have it today, right? So anyway, I thought it was complete bull, but the way she said it, it really resonated with me. So I ended up, ordering this journal, and I started journaling. And the first time I ever did it, it was the hardest thing in the world, because I felt like I was lying to myself. It's like saying I make $50,000 per month every single month. And it's like you're writing this down, and it feels like you're lying to yourself, because you are. Because if you're not making $50,000 a month, then you are effectively lying to yourself. But that's what I did, and this is before I even made any money online. Long and short of it, I had since within the next 18 months, I ended up making $50,000 per month for the very first time. And it was just unbelievable, because this was long after I had started this journal, and I had forgot that I was writing this down every single day, twice a day, for like 18 months. Lo and behold, we ended up moving. I came across the journal, and I was like, oh, wow. I forgot I even had the journal. I started flipping through the pages, reading through the things I used to write every single day, and it just blew my mind how much of my hopes and dreams had actually manifested themselves within the period of like 2 years. So anyway, a lot of people have been hitting me up asking me how to generate $10,000 in monthly income to be able to secure their financial stability and to pursue their goals. It's like $10,000 a month for most people. It's a huge goal, and for some people it almost seems impossible, but I want you guys to understand that it's not impossible. I've done it, and I've been doing it online for like almost 5 years. Like, it's like 4 years and change now. So I want you guys to understand that it's not impossible. It's totally possible. And in fact, I've actually created a step-by-step method for doing exactly what I did. I'm going to leave a link for you guys for that in the description down below this video. And I literally started doing it with no money. And that was the biggest thing for me. Like, when you think about ways to make money online, you think of, side hustles and stuff like that. One of the things I was doing before was I was trading. I was day trading. And with day trading, there's a lot of risk. Like if you wanted to like take $1,000 day trading and try to convert that $1,000 into $10,000 within even a year's time, forget on a monthly basis, forget making $10,000 a month. If you wanted to make if you wanted to take $1,000 and turn it into $10,000, even in a 1 year period of time, it is so almost it's very unrealistic. It's very unrealistic to do. In fact, in your journey to do it, it's very likely that you'll lose the entire $1,000 trading in the stock market trying to pull it off. Now, and it won't matter if you're using Robinhood or M1 Finance or Sink or Swim or TD Ameritrade or E-Trade. You name your favorite investment brokerage platform, online trading platform. The thing is number one, most people don't realize that there's a lot of different trading strategies that you can use in order to trade, but there's so much to trading. Beyond the trading, whether it's candlesticks or whatnot, you need to understand that you need to be accurate in getting into the trade. So it's like if you want to make money trading, you have to be accurate getting into the trade, buying at the right time. Because if you don't buy right, you can't sell out at a profit. And if you keep selling out at a loss, eventually you're going to keep losing and lose all your money. And trust me, I'm speaking from personal experience. So, and you need to be right more often than you're wrong. And if you're not, you need to have some impeccable money management strategies so that you can exit losing trades before it's detrimental to your account. Anyway, I'm not a fan of that, but I wanted to just kind of quickly get that out there and share that with you, because if I can at least save you from losing money, even if you don't make money personally, if I can at least help you to not lose money, I will feel good about that. So, by the way, if you guys are new to the channel, please consider dropping a like and also subscribe to the channel if you like content like this. But seriously, guys, like, in the online world, there's an abundance of false claims and get rich quick schemes that really misleads a lot of people. So anyway, I just want to kind of break down some of the components that you need to understand to be able to achieve the goal of hitting $10,000 per month, which is absolutely totally possible in 2023. And it will absolutely be totally possible going into 2024, regardless of whether or not there's a recession, regardless of how bad inflation is. This is totally possible. And I just want you guys to understand, like, I want you guys to have faith in yourselves. And if I can do it, you guys can do it. And like I said, I've been doing it I've probably done it for like 50 months, probably about 50 months, maybe even close to 60 months in a row without fail. So again, if I can do it, I know you guys could do it. So like, let's talk about like finding the right opportunity, right? Like you got to find a path that's suitable, or a business opportunity that just kind of really aligns with your own personal skills and your goals. And this is going to be crucial, right? So, I just want to emphasize like that you probably want to go after a low risk means in order to hit $10,000 a month, right? So it's really important to choose a route that is going to allow you to, steadily grow your income without having excessive risk. I gave you guys the example of stock trading, right? And God forbid you look at stock trading or options trading. Options trading is even higher risk. And then, basically the more leverage you're using, the greater the risk, the greater the pain, of course, the greater the reward. But if you get wiped out before you even get a reward, then you can't even play the game anymore, right? So I'm not a big fan of risk. I like to lower my risk as much as possible. And when you lower risk, you lower your chances of losing money. Warren Buffett once said, or actually probably said it a million times, rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1, right? So I'm not about losing money. So, basically trading is just a high risk nature to the game. And usually, at the end of the day, when I look at, back before there was like free trading on brokerage platforms, man, these brokerages, they were making a killing. The profit margins were ridiculous because they just want you to trade. So they don't care if you make money or not. They just want you trading. Anyway, so they win regardless of if you win or not. And they kind of probably don't care. Anyway, so I like lean online businesses with great free cash flow generation. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about online businesses that don't require like huge startup fees, huge startup capital. I had an Amazon business. I was selling products doing Amazon FBA, and basically to get started with Amazon FBA, I had to invest in product. So this product had to be, I think my initial order was like $5,000 or $6,000. It took me like 3 months to get the product in because I had to order from China. So there's like logistics, there was shipping. And then of course, so basically I did all my product research. You get it into Amazon. And guess what? If your product doesn't sell, well, guess what? You just lost out on a lot of time. Number one, anything you're ordering from China is generally going to take at least a month, if not up to 3 to 4 or 5 months. It really just depends on the supply chain. How backed up they are, what factory you work with. Is there any kind of geopolitical issues going on? So anyway, just something to be aware of, right? That's a fairly high initial investment for a lot of people. Putting $5,000 to $10,000 into a business that they've never done before, a lot of people will be uncomfortable. Not to mention, if you've never made any money online or you've never had an online business, that would probably be in a high risk category for a lot of people, and I totally get it, right? Anyway, that experience taught me a lot, though. It taught me a lot, and the experiences, the lessons, really helped me ultimately be able to hit my $10,000 per month goal, which my goal was higher than that, but I had never made $10,000 per month online. But my written goal was $50,000 per month, right? The goal that I had written down in the journal. Anyway, so going back to this, so you might be thinking of trading, e-commerce, maybe some kind of digital marketing services or consulting. Now, what I like about digital marketing services is that would actually be a low cost method of generating, $10,000 a month if that's your goal, because all you'd have to do is land some clients and you're providing a service. Now, service-based businesses, generally speaking, won't have incredibly high startup costs, like especially if they're online-based businesses that offer a service. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say you have a dentist, right? If you go to a dentist, chances are the dentist you go to today has been the dentist you've gone to since you were probably a kid, unless you've moved since you were a kid, right? Because most people don't change the dentist that they go to unless the dentist like really, really sucks, or the dentist has bad breath, or, whatever the case. So people generally stick with a dentist for a long time. What's my point? Well, my point is the value of a client, the value of a patient to a dentist is very high. Let's just say the average patient stays with a dentist for 10 years. Well, if the average patient spends $1,000 to $5,000 a year with a dentist, right, through insurance and whatnot, think about how much that person actually made the dentist over the course of 10 years, right? So what I'm saying is if, let's just keep it super simple. If the dentist makes $2,000 a year because you come in for cleanings like twice, sometimes 3 times a year, maybe you get a root canal every now and then, maybe you need braces, maybe you need a filling, right? So the average person to a dentist might be, let's just say, worth $2,000 a year. If that patient stays with them for 10 years, that the lifetime value of that patient is worth $24,000. So imagine you come to a dentist and you offer them a marketing service where it's like, hey dentist, I run a marketing company and I can bring you clients, and my fee is $1,000 per patient that I bring you, per new patient, or maybe it's even $2,000 per patient. It really just depends on the value to the dentist, however much the patient's worth. So if you're great at marketing, you can do like Facebook ads and Instagram ads, like TikTok. Like there's all sorts of methods of generating referrals and clients and leads for a dentist or for a doctor's office, right? And I'm not limiting it to medical, but I just want you guys to understand that sort of business wouldn't have a $5,000 or $10,000 startup cost to get going. Kind of like, if you were selling products on Amazon. So I like that because the cost is low, the risk is low, and the profit margin is potentially very, very high. And even if you're not really good at doing this kind of thing, you can go on different websites like Upwork and Fiverr, and you can find people, you can hire people who are really good at online marketing, Facebook marketing, and literally hire them for a cheap enough rate so that you're making, 80 to 90% profit margins, offering these services that even if you can't perform them yourselves, who can do it for super cheap. Provide the dentist, provide the doctor with the type of, with the patients, with the leads that they're looking for, and you collect the check, you keep the profit, right? So that's a great way. Or even like consulting. Maybe you have a skill. If you have a skill, high value skill, generally speaking, there's someone else who doesn't have that skill and is willing to pay you $40, $50, $100 an hour for you to teach them that skill so that they can, so that they can one day have that skill. Or maybe it's a consulting type of business that you run where you consult on a regular basis, and maybe you charge a $500 a month, $2,000 per month retainer for your consulting businesses. I work with a lot of different people. I coach a lot of different people who don't even realize the skills that they have that are worth a tremendous amount of money in the marketplace to other people, that others are willing to spend handsomely on learning those skills. I've been in IT for a lot of years, for many, many years, right? And, I can earn 150, 200 grand a year doing IT work. Well, if you don't know how to do what I do, imagine how much you would be willing to pay to learn to be able to earn $150,000 to $200,000 a year just doing that, right? Especially when you realize that you can do it from home. So I'm just putting it out here, right? So and these are just some small ideas. Now, one thing that I did was, I literally started a YouTube business from my kitchen. Actually, it was technically from my dining room. I didn't have any equipment. I didn't have any purchased equipment. I literally used the cell phone that I already had. I didn't even have a microphone. I literally just took my phone out one day after procrastinating for years, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to make a YouTube channel. Now, I didn't set out to make a YouTube channel to make $10,000 a month. That would have been great, but I actually started multiple YouTube channels because the first one I started, I told everyone about it. And that was the first thing that I did wrong. Never, when it comes to business and life and strategy, honestly, if you're trying to win financially in life, you got to learn to keep your mouth shut. You can't run out and tell everybody everything about what you're about to do. You need to learn how to plan, strategize, and execute in silence. And that's one of the best things that you can do, personally, just from my own personal experience. When I think back about my first YouTube channel that I started that failed, and it failed just because I stopped trying. It was because, for me, I told everyone and their mom what I was about to do, and I told everyone and their mom to subscribe to my channel, and I didn't even know what I was doing. So now I basically built an audience of people who are watching me try to figure something out. And it's like, it felt like everyone was staring at me, and it made it harder to create content, harder to create videos, and that was the biggest mistake. It was literally the biggest mistake I had ever made when it came to content creation and starting a YouTube channel. So I highly recommend, if you're looking at starting a YouTube channel, do not do what I did. In fact, I actually created a course teaching exactly how to do it properly so you don't make the mistakes that I did, and that you can fast track your success. Literally, I went from making $0 on YouTube to making, some months I've literally hit nearly $100,000 just in YouTube AdSense revenue. So if you guys want to learn exactly how I did it, definitely hit the link in the description down below this video. Super informative. And the opportunities are literally still existing today. In fact, I created a brand new channel 3 days ago, and it is on track to hopefully be monetized in the next week or so. So we're going to see how quickly I can monetize that channel and create a new stream of revenue. And this new channel that I started is actually a faceless YouTube channel. So you won't find my face on there, and unless I tell you about it, you won't even know who owns it. So but what I like about the faceless YouTube channels is, number one, if you don't want to be on YouTube, if you don't want to show your face, if you don't even want to have your voice be heard, you could literally build a team of people who literally carry out all the steps for you. And I actually teach how to do that in the link in the description down below this video if you want to learn how to do that for yourself. But literally, that is a tremendously low risk business, side hustle, online business, whatever you want to call it, because it's really all of those things, right? Like, think about it. If imagine you make $5,000-$10,000 a month from YouTube, and all you did was use your cell phone. Like, that was a pretty low cost, low risk business to own, start, and operate from home, even if you have no money. So, huge fan of that. And I don't just, I practice what I preach is what I'm saying. And the other thing is like, you don't want to just make $10,000 a month and blow that money. Like, that's the problem with new money. New money gets new money, and they want to show off, they want to show out. And I understand you're excited, you want to celebrate, you want to congratulate, but the problem is with new money, you end up blowing your money. So I ended up studying old money, Warren Buffett, Ray Dalio, people who have actually built wealth and kept it and kept growing it, right? Because $10,000 a month is a great goal, it's a great target, but it should not be your final destination. And the thing is you want to get to 10 grand and make that 10 grand make more money for you. Invest that 10 grand into your business, invest that 10 grand into, the stock market, into real estate, invest that 10 grand into SCHD if that's your thing, invest into the S&P 500 if that's your thing. But, me personally, I like to limit risk. So one of the first things I did when I started making some money, I got out of debt. I focused on eliminating car payments, eliminating credit card bills. I actually started paying down my house. But then once, I got into a situation where interest rates were so low, it's like, well, if I can get an interest rate under 3%, why would I want to go out of my way to pay off the house? So that's where I stopped. So I literally have, a couple of mortgages on purpose that I could easily pay off tomorrow if I chose to, but the interest rates are so low, they're less than 3%, then it just doesn't make any sense to pay it off. Well, I guess it could if you just wanted to be debt free, but for how low the interest rate is versus where I could deploy that capital elsewhere and make a greater return on my money, it just doesn't make financial sense to pay them off. So for those reasons, I'm out. If you guys watch Shark Tank, but seriously, but it's about being smart. Life is a chess game, and we're not playing checkers here. So, make your 10 grand a month. But once you're making 10 grand a month, learn how to manage that money so that you reach financial freedom, and then you could keep climbing from there. I remember a point where I was making like there was a time I was making like $4,000, maybe $5,000 a month, right? And then one day I lost my job, and I remember thinking to myself, like I just wouldn't take another job that wasn't paying at least that amount, right? Because it had burned it into my brain that $4,000 or $5,000 a month was like my level of comfort, right? So it's wild how once I got a new job that paid $5,000 a month, I was comfortable again. My point behind what I'm saying is that my income has grown to a point where, if I make less than $40,000 or $50,000 a month now, I literally feel uncomfortable. So to me, it's like your income almost kind of becomes your identity to some extent. Not like you are money, or like you see yourself as money, but the thing is everyone has that number that for them it's like, man, I wouldn't be comfortable living on less than X amount of money per month. And I don't know what that number is for you, but everyone has a number. For some people, it might only be like, $3,000. Man, as long as I make at least $3 grand a month, I'm good, right? And that might be cool, but I'm just saying, like, and I don't need $50,000 per month to live on, but it's like I've been earning so much per month for so long, and I probably live on like 15% of what I earn, and I invest the 85%. But the simple fact of the matter is that as you make a certain amount of money for so long, you start to create a new baseline for yourself. So for me, and what I realized after studying wealthy people, old money, reading all sorts of personal finance related books, learning from even the basics like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and things like that, Robert Kiyosaki, it is about making that money work for you. Moving from one side of the quadrant to the other side of the quadrant, if you guys are familiar with the cash flow quadrant from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Employee and self-employed is on one side of the quadrant, right? And then on the other side, you got business owner and you have investor, right? So the goal is to move on to the business owner and investor side of the quadrant, because that's where the leverage comes into play, and you can move from trading your time for money. So anyway, can you make $10,000 a month in 2023? Absolutely. And I want you guys to understand that and believe that, and like let it literally like resonate. In fact, I want you guys right now, take your phone out, take out the notepad app on your phone. You got a app on your phone where you can take notes, or maybe even get a piece of paper, just write it down. This is one of the most powerful things, and if you could just do this, I swear this will start you on the right trajectory. Write down right now, I make $10,000 per month, every single month, on a piece of paper or on your phone. And I want you guys to rewrite that down every single day for the next 30 days. And then come back to this video and let me know if you have been able to do that for the next 30 days. And let me know if that has changed your life. Because for me, when I decided to purchase that journal and I was writing down that I make $50,000 per month, it was the hardest thing to do, because I literally felt like I'm lying to myself. In fact, the first couple of days I bought the journal, I couldn't even write down that phrase, because it was just like, this is bull. This is a lie. I'm not doing this. But 2 days later, I ended up doing it for the first time, and it was the hardest thing. The next day, it was a little bit easier, because I was just like, I'm just going to write it down. I don't believe it, but whatever. But the more I did write it down, the more I thought about what would it be like if I did make that kind of money. And then it went from I'm lying to myself to what would it be like. And then after doing that for like 4 months, it was like, maybe I don't even think it took 4 months. I think after doing it for like a month, I was more like, I went from this is a lie to what would it be like, to okay, how do I do it? How do I get there? How do I figure it out? And then when you go from something is impossible to asking yourself how to make it possible, now you're on the right track. Anyway, I left some important information for you guys. If you guys want to learn how I made my first $1,000 on YouTube from home with no money out of pocket, hit the link in the description down below in this video. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like for it. Consider subscribing, and I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Y'all take care.